All right, y'all. Jones versus Combs, part 18, and the final part. We just got one final part, you guys. So I'm still on page 70. And if we go down again, it's kind of just re-saying what it did in the previous cause of action, just letting them know that they, if we just go to 34, 334, this case does not involve mere fraud. Instead, defendants criminal conduct in obstructing enforcement of the TVPA was outrageous and intentional because it was in deliberate furtherance of a widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. Defendants' obstruction also evinced a high degree of moral turpitude and demonstrated such wanton dishonesty as to imply a criminal indifference. And I'm sorry, y'all, hold on, that's the wrong page. Okay, this is the page that I'm on. Defendant's obstruction was directed specifically at Mr. Jones, who was the victim of Mr. Combs' sex trafficking organization. By virtue of these violations, defendants is liable to Mr. Jones for the damages he sustained and reasonable attorney fees by operation of 18, and that's the code that they keep mentioning they violated. Defendants perpetrated an obstruction of the TVPA and therefore perpetrated a violation of Chapter 77, Title 18. Now, we are at the end of the complaint, the lawsuit that Mr. Jones filed against all these defendants. P. Diddy, Sean Combs, aka Sean Combs, Justin Combs, his son, his chief of staff, Christina Coram, and then the musical groups and those who held positions at those musical groups like Ethiopia, Charles Grange. So a prayer for relief, every complaint has to have a prayer for relief. It lets them know, what do you want? Like, you're filing this complaint, you're filing this lawsuit, what damages do you seek? And this is typically found at the end when listed all the reasons why you're filing a lawsuit. This is what you are praying for. Wherefore, plaintiff prays that the court enter judgment in her favor against defendants, and that should be his favor, containing the following relief: a declaratory judgment that the actions, conduct, and practices of defendants complained of herein violate the laws of the state of New York. An award of damages against defendant in an amount to be determined at trial, plus prejudgment interest to compensate plaintiff for all monetary and/or economic damages, including but not limited to loss of past and future income, wages, compensation, seniority, and other benefits of employment. An award of damages against defendant in an amount to be determined at trial, plus prejudgment interest to compensate plaintiff for all non-monetary and/or compensatory damages, including but not limited to compensation for mental anguish, humiliation, embarrassment, stress and anxiety, emotional pain and suffering, and emotional distress. An award of punitive damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Prejudgment interest on all amounts due. An award of costs that plaintiff has incurred in this action, including but not limited to expert witness fees, as well as plaintiff's reasonable attorney fees and costs to the fullest extent permitted by the law, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Jury demand. Plaintiff hereby demands a trial by jury on all issues of fact and damages stated herein, dated February 26, 2024, Brooklyn, New York. T.A. Blackburn Law, PLLC, by Tyrone A. Blackburn, Esquire. Okay. So that's it, you guys. That's the total lawsuit. So we know that this producer was a gospel producer, got a call from Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him. Hey, will you help produce my Love album? And it just started him into the pits of hell. We now know the biggest thing to me is the sex trafficking of young girls and young boys, and basically indentured sex workers, paying these sex workers. This is a hot ass mess. And this is so, reading this has just really made me have no respect for celebrities, period. Anybody that was ever at any of his parties, I just don't have respect for, because you had underage boys and girls there being trafficked and you turned the other cheek. So I'm going to go into detail with a couple of the main players, Christina Korm indirectly, because she's the one that I say is worse than everybody. So let me know your thoughts on this. Like, comment, subscribe. But this is the final part. Thank you all for listening. I hope you found it informative as I did. Let me know.